On a personal note, paying homage to the three honorable judges brings to my mind many deeply etched reminiscences. Each one of them have touched my professional career and life in special and many ways too profound and too many to be chronicled. Justice Kuldip Singh. Well, Justice Kuldip Singh and me were traveling together from Cochin to Delhi much later after the retirement, after attending a conference on environmental law. I learned about his younger days of migration from Pakistan, the tremendous responsibilities he shouldered in caring for the family, and his days of work in the consolidation department in Patiala. His narratives were a mix of the hardships, the sad history of partition, and the subtle teaching of endurance, and it is emotionally fulfilling. This brought me closer to understanding the evolution of his many-sided personality. While he talked about the study of law in India compared to the then systems in England, he was keen to stand by and support the law school experiments in his need to cater to larger sections of the community. Looking back now, I gather that he was prophetic. But what remains with me is another incident. This I recall and state only for the importance of how the ethical reputation we gather in our profession, much more than anything else, has its rewards. When I sought to make a distinction in favor of one amongst a batch of SLPs involving allotment of industrial plots in Faridabad, a bench presided by Justice Kuldip Singh rejected my request. My entreaties on the ground of corruption did not prevail. Deeply disturbed by the disastrous consequences, for the client, I filed a review petition, and I mentioned before the bench for oral hearing. Justice Kuldip Singh said we cannot make exceptions, and the procedure will follow. I sat in the first row quietly for some time, till miscellaneous matters are heard, showing my deep disappointment, and the judge kept watching me. I stood up again rather emotionally, and I said if there is some room for truth and corruption should not be condoned, I should be heard. Something seemed to have touched Justice Kuldip Singh's heart. He asked the court master to play the paper book during lunch hours, and during lunch hours they were asked to meet him. With trepidation did I go, but the judge said, I respect your ethical values and the pro bono work you do, which I notice in your practice, and it is that prompts me to hear you again. The matter was heard and I succeeded. Light returned to my client's life. I narrate this not as my incident, not as anything about me, but only to chronicle the deep sensitivity of the judge, to respect the importance of ethical values in the profession, and his enduring sense of justice. I consider that he displays a sterling quality to the utmost throughout his stay in the court. This stands higher maybe than all other mentioned narrations about the wit and humor, the light banter in the court, and besides the magnetic qualities he had of attracting people being a very special quality. The green judge appellation which the learned judge earned came to him so naturally. I must say that the plenary principles of environmental law, such as sustainable development, polluter pays, and precautionary principles, got embedded in our green jurisprudence, owing to the sustained efforts made by the learned judge. The skeletal environmental law then received flesh and blood through his pushing hands. The intellectual and visionary fervor which Justice Kuldip Singh brought into the bridge between these principles and operationalizing them are remarkable and remain of the environmental law history. Justice Kuldip Singh had developed a warm and enduring relationship with Justice Krishnaya, who I knew had applaudingly regarded as Kuldip Singh's fertile contribution to green law. His 8 years on the bench are etched with the indelible footprints of both the manner of doing justice and doing justice. I remember the toil he gave to the work on delimitation as the chairman of the Delimitation Commission. Few tasks were assigned to me informally, and I recollect his deep insights on the working of elections and how important it is to facilitate the connection between the voters and the candidates. His report on the delimitation subject is a contribution with lasting impact. We join his family of illustrious achievers in sharing the loss of a wonderful human being and a great companion to all.